What's going on, everyone? So, per Yovambuha, the Los Angeles Lakers appear to be out on Andrew Wiggins. Now, Andrew Wiggins would be fantastic because, he's a legit 3-and-D style guy that can slot in beautifully at the three. Kind of give you a guy that can still self-create, can knock down the three ball, play on ball, play off ball, create a little bit for others, but also be a guy that can defend 1 through 3, even 4 on many occasions, right? And I just kind of look at what Andrew Wiggins could potentially do for this team. I mean, he's the exact type of guy you want slotted in, right? Like, I don't think by himself does everything for the Lakers, right? Because it's like, you still look at the bench and stuff like that. There's still other things that would need to be made, but I think it's a huge step in the right direction. But according to reports, again, Miami wants to kind of fleece the Lakers for a Andrew Wiggins, right? They want essentially the farm, right? They want a first, they want Dalton Connect, and they want Rui Hachimura in order to land Andrew Wiggins. It's just not worth it, right? And so according to Yovambuha, Lakers appear that it's very unlikely that that's going to happen unless Miami drops their price. Now, a couple things about that. One, it is very possible that Miami drops their price as we move closer to training camp, right? Because great example I like to use is the Utah trade. They did end up doing the trade in the offseason. They ended up doing it later on. But that trade was literally the same way. How many assets do you got? Okay, we want all of them. And then we want all of them, unprotected became, okay, fine, we want all of it, but we want, we'll let you have one of the first protected, right? And then you got close to training camp, and it was like, all right, fine, we'll do both first, but, you can protect them both, right? And Lakers just continue to be patient, primarily because Jeanie Buss wanted to see what Darvin Ham could do with Russell Westbrook, right? That was kind of the gist of it. Well, you see a lot of the same things, right? Because teams, they want to go into training camp with their roster, knowing what there is, want to know, coaching staffs don't want to trade 5 guys or bring in 3 or 4 new guys in the middle of training camp because they're trying to build out their identity. They're trying to find and create the offensive schemes and the defense schemes and so on. So it is possible that Andrew Wiggins' price tag drops 3 months away from training camp. So it's very possible that it drops as we inch closer to it. Question becomes, will it drop enough to where it makes sense, right? Miami wants to trade Andrew Wiggins because they want to get off of his salary and his contract, which in and of itself has value. We're already seeing that in the league of teams valuing expiring contracts so much. I mean, the buyout market is becoming a bigger thing because teams want to, keep flexibility, and they're like, hey, we got to get rid of this guy either way. Let's just kind of clean it up now, save us some money, and we'll figure it out, tomorrow. Today's problem, get rid of it and then move forward tomorrow type thing. All right. So again, that in and of itself has real value. Right. And then on top of that, you're adding in a guy in Rui Hachimura, who is actually a guy that makes a ton of sense for Miami. He can slide in at the 3, he can slide in at the 4. Right? He's a guy that could be very good and versatile. It's not like we're asking you to just take scraps. It'd be different if we could keep Rui Hachimura, right? And say we gave, Maxi Kleba, Gabe Vincent, and then you do Shake Milton and Jordan Goodwin or something like that. And you could keep Rui Hachimura and then bring in an Andrew Wiggins. Then it's sure, right? Because at least you're keeping Rui Hachimura. I still wouldn't do a first and connect, but it's if you're willing to kind of clean house, we clear up a bunch of roster spots. So, basically the hey, you want cap flexibility, we want to clear off some space, right? It kind of washes itself out, right? Win-win for everybody, all parts involved. We'll throw you Dalton Connect too for the deal, and then you still have Rui in a first, right? To maybe go make another move, right? If you could do something like that, then yeah, maybe that makes it a little more sense. Maybe that's something that actually works for the Lakers, but is Miami going to take on 5 players? Probably not, right? So it's just is it worth giving up Rui Hachimura, helping them free up future flexibility, on top of giving them a first, on top of giving them Dalton Connect? No, it doesn't make sense for the Lakers, right? So either Miami is serious about trading him and then they'll drop the price at some point, or they'll kind of figure it out, maybe a trade deadline, they're willing to drop it down, right? Utah finally, come trade deadline, was all right, fine, we'll just do 1 protected first. Because they knew the Lakers, and the Lakers were able to get Jared Vanderbilt in the deal, right? So maybe you could work something like that out, or it's hey, maybe you're giving up Jared Vanderbilt and keeping Rui, right? Or maybe they're taking Jared Vanderbilt to give you that long-term flexibility, right? There's got to be logic and reason behind it, right? If you could work something out to where it's like, okay, you get off a long-term salary, you clear up a bunch of roster spots, you clear up cap space right now so you can go sign other guys, right? Like if there's an added incentive, then yeah, it might be worth it to do that, because it's like, okay, now we get Andrew Wiggins, we clear 3 roster spots, we clear, 7 million, 10 million off the books, and now we're signing Bradley Beal, we're bringing in, Nikola Vucevic off of a buyout, so now we got these 2 guys, and then, Marcus Smart or, Chris Middleton or something like that gets bought out, boom, we bring him in, and it's something that kind of like in the grand scheme of it, it's like the trade, it's like, wow, like Lakers gave up a lot for Andrew Wiggins, and it's like, yeah, but look at what it did. It wasn't just like, hey, we're giving all this up for Andrew Wiggins. It's like we were giving all that up for Andrew Wiggins, plus a Bradley Beal, a Marcus Smart, Nikola Vucevic, right? And now you've kind of added and round out your roster and you're ready to go make that push. If it was something like that, then yeah, maybe again, the conversation may swing a little different and might be more justifiable. But right now, to essentially just land Andrew Wiggins, yeah, you free up a roster spot or 2, but you still need the cap space in order to clear it. Lakers still need to do a consolidation trade. So it's just, again, it has to make sense for Lakers. It doesn't make sense for Lakers right now. And honestly, if you're going to go and pony up all that stuff, why not try to go get a guy like a Herb Jones or something like that? Right? Worst case scenario is they say no, but best case scenario, it's like, at least he's younger, he gives you a lot of the same stuff, right? Like, that is something I'd prefer you do. If you're going to give up and pony up the assets in order to get Andrew Wiggins, I'd rather go get a younger guy, right? Can you maybe hit up Orlando and see if you can go get a couple of their perimeter guys? Like, who knows? Just kind of using examples here, but even I'd rather go like the cheaper route, just go get like a Matisse Thybulle. Right? Can you go get a Thybulle? Chicago needs to unload some guys. Can you go get an Ayo Dosunmu? Can you go get a Patrick Williams? Right, at least they're younger. The upside, the potential's there. Right? Like if you could, I'd rather pull something like that out. Like if you could turn, like, okay, Chicago, for example, right? They want to kind of trade Nikola Vucevic or they're going to buy him out. Right? If you could work something out to where it's like, okay, we'll trade for Nikola Vucevic, and Patrick Williams, and Ayo Dosunmu, right? But you're going to help us clear off the salary needed to fill out the rest of the roster, right? So we can go get other guys. And then, we'll give you the assets and you kind of find that middle ground, like a team like that, for example, right? You find a middle ground. Or again, you could do something similar with the Wizards, where it's like, hey, we're getting these guys. Instead of you just buying this guy out, we'll trade for him. But this is why. And yes, Nikola Vucevic, it's like he's making whatever, 18 million, or whatever, but it's an expiring salary, so you're fine. You can let it go, right? And yes, you're not getting him for free off a buyout, but you're also getting 2 young guys and an Ayo Dosunmu and a Patrick Williams that kind of fill in the gap, but you're also clearing off a bunch of roster spots to then go get a Bradley Beal and a whatever else you need. A Marcus Smart gets bought out, boom, now you got Bradley Beal. So now it's like you got creative here, and you turned, what would have been an Andrew Wiggins package into your backup center and Nikola Vucevic, Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, and then in buyout free agency, you got, Bradley Beal, and so you basically revamp your whole roster. Again, that's justifiable. That now makes sense if you're the Lakers. So Lakers either A, need to be creative, or B, kind of just stay the course and hope that things round out and, prices drop and come down, right? Like, what team blinks? There's still a lot of movement, still a lot of things going on behind the scenes, a lot of potential buyouts behind the scenes. I've talked about, like, if a Chris Middleton does get bought out and the Lakers can bring him in and sign him, now you have the leverage to go to Miami again. Now you have the leverage to go and reopen those conversations and be like, hey, look, you were right. Oh, a week ago, we were desperate. We needed a guy like Andrew Wiggins. Not so much anymore. We got a Chris Middleton, and we're happy to go with Chris Middleton and just have Rui come off the bench, or we could trade Rui or whatever, right? Like, boom. Now you're entering those conversations at a point of, where you have a little more leverage, where it's like, now do you want to do a fair deal, or do you still want to hold firm to your price because we're fine just keeping Chris Middleton? But if we end up finding another deal, then you're up creek with a paddle, right? With no paddle type thing. Right? So again, like, if Lakers have to remain patient. I know I say patience all the time. I preach patience, but it's true, right? As long as the patience pays off, I know it's frustrating. I know it's hard to remain patient. It's like the Lakers have signed Ayton and LaRavia and Jackson Hayes, but still, like, dude, we were begging for somebody like DeAndre Ayton, and now he comes and falls into our lap, and everyone's like, "Oh, Rob's not doing it." Like, at least you solved your center position, right? You solved and got a young, athletic, versatile two-way wing, right? Yes, there are some questions about his athleticism. There are some questions about his defense, but he's young. Give him a shot. Let's see what he does. I think people might be very surprised at Jake LaRavia, right? Again, like, you got moves that solve some of the needs, and you still have the flexibility. You didn't have to go trade for a DeAndre Ayton. You didn't have to go pony up assets in order to go get him. Got him for free, which now allows you to use your assets to go do something else, right? So again, the patience route is important as long as it pays off for, like, Lakers were patient on the center front. It paid off. You got DeAndre Ayton. Now you don't have to go trade for a center, or if you do, it's a backup center, right? Like, I trust that a trade will happen. Right. And it's just maintaining patience. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.